This cave explorer got trapped upside down in a cave forever, and what happened to him is something straight out of a nightmare. Their family vacation turned into a disaster when they decided to take on a challenge in one of the most dangerous underground caves in the world, the infamous Nutty Putty Cave. Nutty Putty Cave is known for trapping cave explorers, and they usually end up stuck in the cave unable to move for hours, and need to call for the help of professional rescue teams. But this didn't stop John Edward Jones and his family from exploring the dangerous cave because they are experienced cave explorers. Everything was going smoothly until John and his brother Josh left the group to try the most feared passage in the cave known as the birth canal. John took the lead. The brothers were so determined to conquer this challenge, so they continued navigating through tight spaces, squeezed through narrow passages, and tolerated the damp and claustrophobic conditions inside. As he was pushing forward, he believed he had reached this part of the cave known as the birth canal. He went headfirst into the tight spot going downwards. It's narrow at first, but it has an opening at the end, and he could see the opening at the end of the tunnel, so he thought he could get through. He kept on pushing forward into a tighter and tighter space because he thought there was an opening at the end of the tunnel, but the more he pushed forward, the more the cave's edges pushed his lungs tighter. He exhaled the remaining air from his lungs to be able to fit, so he could slide further down into the hole closer towards the opening. But when his chest exhaled oxygen, his body slid further down into the hole, and he got stuck. With one arm pinned under him and one arm forced backwards, he found himself helplessly stuck in an upside down position at a 70-degree angle. And this was the moment he realized that he had made a huge mistake. Turns out he wasn't in the birth canal. Instead, he was in an unmapped section of the cave that no one had ever been in before. Now, he was totally trapped, and all he could do was scream for help. His brother followed his voice and immediately found his location, and Josh was speechless when he saw how stuck he was, because he knew how impossible the rescue would be. But he didn't want to give up on his brother, so he made multiple attempts to set him free, but failed. So he immediately exited the cave and called 911 for rescuers to come and save his brother. Then, when the first rescuer finally reached him, this is what he said. "Get me out of here!" But the cave had a horrific plan. A plan that made him part of the cave forever. Hey guys, welcome to What's Up Tony, where I tell some of the most interesting and scariest stories in the entire world. If you'd like to see stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get back to the video. John Edward Jones's chance of survival were getting smaller and smaller as time went by. After 3 hours of being stuck upside down, he's now experiencing unbearable pain all throughout his body. So the rescuers tried everything they could to set John free. They considered lubricating the cave walls and drilling through the rocks, but the cave's narrowness and John's upside down position made the rescuers' plans almost impossible. The narrowness of the cave didn't allow them to bring any tools for extraction, and only small and flexible rescuers could fit through the tight spaces. What makes his rescue even more complex is that the space where he was stuck was too small that only one rescuer at a time could help him, making it more challenging to set him free. At this point, John was starting to panic, so to calm him down, they brought him a satellite phone so that he was able to talk to his wife.
"John, I love you."
Get me out of here! I can't be here anymore.
And finally, the rescuers created a plan to save John. They installed a pulley system anchored to the cave's walls to pull John out of the hole.
We're running down there!
1, 2, 3, pull!
You're doing great, John. Keep pushing. Keep pulling!
Each pull gave John intense pain, but they still pushed through until 19 hours had passed. By then, John had lost complete feeling in all of his limbs. But the rescue plan was overall going pretty well, and everyone thought John would get out of the Nutty Putty Cave alive. But the cave had a different plan. When they tried to pull John again, the rope snapped, sending John deeper into the hole that he was stuck in. And to make things worse, the pulley system injured the rescuer near John at the time. The rescuers felt helpless, exhausted, and trapped. At this point, John had become completely unresponsive and was now barely even breathing. They were racing against time to keep John alive. But before the rescuers could send more help, John had gone into cardiac arrest. By now, no signs of life could be heard from John. Rescuers had almost given up, so they sent a medical professional to see if John had passed away. At exactly 11:56 p.m. on November the 25th, 2009, John was pronounced dead. Around 137 rescuers worked tirelessly for 27 hours to free John, but failed. By now, they realized that getting John's body out of the cave would put even more lives at risk. So the Nutty Putty Cave became John's eternal resting place. And because of John's death, the Nutty Putty Cave was permanently closed and sealed off with concrete.